In my early years of teaching, I used to agree with people when they said, "Why reinvent the wheel?" Now, I hate that phrase. Hi everyone, welcome to Talk and Chalk. I'm Beck and this is my pre-service teacher series, and that is for, well, it's intended for prac teachers, teachers at university, people studying to be a teacher. However, today's topic, I guess, applies to all. It's only come up though because it was one of the suggestions that was sent to me when I put a shout out asking for suggestions on topics that people want covered when I do these series. So thank you to everyone who sent me suggestions. If you've got some, please pop them in the comments or send me a message. My links to social media are all in the description below. You just click on the little arrow and it drops down. Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram. I answer all my messages. If I have missed any of your messages, it's not on purpose. It's just because I've been getting lots more lately. So if I've missed you, please just send me another message. I'm not ignoring you. And I apologize if I haven't replied. I really do aim to reply to everyone's messages. Anyway, someone suggested talking about the cycle of education and the fact that when you get into a school, there are the chances that you'll come across that teacher that's been in the system for quite a while, that's been through those cycles of things where it's been there, done that, tried that before, we got rid of it. Oh, we've done that program before, it's just had a new name labeled on it. Sorry, I don't know why I'm continually still doing the action, that's what it feels like. And I remember when I was in my beginning years of teaching, hearing those teachers going, "Ugh, we've done that before," and I would be sitting there going, maybe it wasn't the same, maybe this is different now. And they're like, "No, it's exactly the same, we're just doing it again, they just got a different name on it." And I guess I just kind of brushed it off like, "Oh, they're old, they're nearly retired, they don't know what they're talking about." And now that I've been teaching 16 years, I think I said I've been teaching, I know exactly what they're talking about. And it's frustrating. And there's research there to support it. So things like open classrooms, they were done back in the 70s, I think it was. I wasn't born there, wasn't teaching then. So I was born in 81. So when they're talking about that, I really do know what they're getting at. And when we talk about that cycle of education, everyone says, you know, it's going to be the same again the next year. We've got the same curriculum. I've been through 3 different mathematics syllabus documents. So no, that's not necessarily true. Things do change. Just depends on how they change. And so when you're coming into a school on prac and you've got all these great ideas and this knowledge and you've been doing all your research and theory and lit reviews, and you really just want to jump in and put something into practice, there's a good chance that the teacher that you've got may not be implementing that practice. There could be something else going on there. And there might be that, I guess, challenge in conversation, which is a good thing. That's the kind of dialogue that we want to have. I would recommend not going in and telling that teacher, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing it this way." And I say that because that's happened. Throughout my conversations, I've had mentor teachers and experienced teachers message me as well saying, "I really wish my prackies knew blah," and told me so many things. And a lot of them have been quite blunt and said, "Yeah, my prac student came in on their very first prac and told me that I was teaching wrong." Not the best start to have with your mentor teacher. That doesn't mean we're not open to suggestion. That doesn't mean we're not open to hearing about what you guys are learning about at university. But we've got to remember, relationships first. Build those relationships first and have that quality dialogue and open conversation. And so this cycle that we keep talking about, you know, there is that cycle to teaching and how things go around, and things will come back. We will try and do things similar to what we've tried before. You know, rote learning came, went, came again, went again. I've seen that happen throughout my own education as well, and different styles. So, you know, flexible seating arrangements, flexible learning space at the moment. A lot of people are saying, you know, this is new and innovative. It has been done in other spaces, in other cultures before, perhaps not in the same way, perhaps not with the same pedagogical focus as what we've got now. And we know that what we're doing is based on learning modes and based on data from current research that we're utilizing at the moment. But I guess when you get into that, I don't want you to be phased the way I was, where you don't actually engage in that conversation with someone about what was it that you did 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago, because everything changes so quickly now. So when people say, why reinvent the wheel? I don't like that anymore, because originally I did it to think, oh, someone's made a resource, I can use it, kids will always learn from it, which is true in a sense. However, it also means that I'm not improving on it. The wheel is not the same now as what it was when it was first invented. It evolved, it improved, it changed, it was modified. We've got it in all sorts of different forms now. You know, think of the ye old wooden wheel on the cart. We don't use that anymore for a very good reason. It wasn't the best version of it. We've got lots of different versions of wheels now, tires, bikes. I'm not an engineer, or a cyclist or a mechanic or anything like that, but I know there's lots of different wheels out there. They do different things, they have different functions. They're on robots now, for crying out loud. So the idea that why reinvent the wheel? We don't have to reinvent it, but that doesn't mean we can't modify it, adapt it, change it, let it evolve into something bigger and better and more wonderful than what it was before. So now when I think of that cycle of education, I guess I don't see it as that circle that we keep talking about, where we keep coming back around to these same old ideas that we had before. I kind of see it like the infinity symbol. You know, it looks like the figure 8. It just keeps going and going and going, but there's a twist to it now. So I think, you know, we've tried this sort of a thing, let's put a twist on it and try it in a different way, and then we'll come back and revisit it and see if we need to modify it some more, and then we'll, you know, if we need to, we can put another twist on it and then keep changing it and modifying it. And really that's what you need to do with your classes year in, year out, regardless of what grade you've got, what kids you've got, what school you're in. You need to reflect on that yourself and think, am I going to do it the exact same way, or am I going to put a twist on it? Am I going to change what I'm doing for those kids? Am I taking what I'm learning at uni and putting a twist on it for my needs, for my kids' needs, for the school that I'm in? And really, if you're picking up something and then teaching it the exact same way that someone else did it, are you teaching it? Or is it someone else teaching it? Are you just putting into place something that someone else made? The idea of a teaching program being that you can pick it up and take it away and teach it somewhere else, which is great. That's a great starting point. But what are you going to add to that? What knowledge and expertise and value and qualities are you going to embed into that to make it your own? And as a teacher, we have such great opportunities to have ownership over what we do. And there's not many industries that you can do that. You know, architects get to put their own spin on something, but ultimately they're probably designing something for someone else. They don't always get to design their own things. You know, doctors are working for someone else. They've got their patient, they know what works. And it's those doctors that go to the next level and try something different that are usually the ones that find cures for illnesses that we didn't have before, or are able to save people's lives when another doctor said they were incurable. Going that next level and putting your own twist on something is what makes it great and different and unique. So even though an idea might have been done before, doesn't necessarily mean it was done the best way. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't make it the best way it's going to be done. So, I mean, if you go back through my videos, you'll see one where I, what did I call it? Excited about writing, I think it was. And it was where I used Dungeons and Dragons to play a game with my class to engage them in writing. And I haven't come across any other primary teachers who have done that. I've heard of some high school teachers that have embedded it in there. I know of teachers out there who play themselves and then use their knowledge of narratives and character construction to be able to really give their kids some quality activities and lessons on how to do that. But my kids played. They created characters and they played Dungeons and Dragons, and this was something that we did across a term. And then at the end of it, they had this big campaign and they got dressed up, and it really engaged me in writing. It's like a 40-minute video, whatever it was I did on it. But it was something that, it was just different. It was something kids hadn't done before, something I hadn't done before. I had to take myself to a new level to do that. And I hadn't been playing for very long when I decided to do this, but I thought, you know, this whole game is just a narrative. I'm immersed in a narrative. I might as well have chucked on a VR headset and been in the game and experienced it. And that's what I wanted my kids to get out of it. And it was just something so different that they couldn't ignore it. They had to sit up and pay attention and get involved because it was just so much fun. It was so cool. Whole other video. You can, I'll see if I can remember to link that one at the end when I do my finish bit. So in terms of that cycle that we have, I would say be open to it. You guys at uni, I don't know if they still do the same thing. They try and keep literature and your research pretty relevant. However, it's always good to go back and look at previous stuff, because I mean, if you look at Marie Clay in terms of guided reading, I've got the guided reading video as well if you guys are doing that. There's just so much valuable research that has already been done that's going to stand the test of time. And that's the kind of thing that you don't just, you know, throw away. You don't get rid of that because it's old. Some of that stuff works. People learned. There are still some ways where you just learn the same way. So I guess it's about how you interpret it, what you take on board and what you take away from it, what you put into your classroom. So I guess today I'd love to hear from people who have maybe been in the system longer than myself, that have seen those changes happen, and how you feel about it, what you've done about it. Did you just jump into the deep end? Did you stand back and watch others do it? Did you put a twist on it? If you're a new teacher as well and you're hearing about all those things that used to be done and how people don't want to try and do it again because they've already done it before, you know, how are you experiencing that? What kind of conversation are you getting into? How do you feel about it? And if you are a prac student, I would love to hear if you've gone into a school and experienced anything like this so far. You might be a mature age student and you've been through school and your kids have been through school and now you're doing your studies, and you might have seen some, you know, changes across those years as well. So if you want to join in the conversation, pop it in the comments below, whether it's here or on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. If you want to send me a message privately, not a problem at all. I will leave it there tonight. Bit of a deep and meaningful one tonight. I'll put my button down here, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, that's there. You just hover over that and click to subscribe. If this video interested you at all and you want to contribute, maybe give me a thumbs up for some feedback. That's always appreciated. And I'll leave my D&D video at the top there. It's a long watch, so maybe just click watch later. Bye.